All right, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna collage and I'm just gonna chat a little bit with you. So, this is kind of an extension of my podcast and in my studio practice. So, I make collages, and today I'm gonna be collaging two magazines, a GQ that I just got and a Look magazine from 1971. I got it at an estate sale this weekend for $1. I usually feel a little bit wary about destroying something like this because it's kind of an heirloom, it's so precious. But someone once told me, make something more beautiful out of it. So I'm gonna run with that and I'm gonna see what I can create. It usually takes me about an hour to arrive at somewhere that I feel happy as far as a collage. So let's do it. I'm playing music in the background. I have my scalp, utensil, X-Acto knife, and today I got some tea, which is not coffee. And it's horrible, but Starbucks later, huh? All right, so I'll put the camera here and see what we do. All right, so I like to mix old and new together just because it creates a better conversation, right? So I kind of want to start with this guy because I'm wrapping it like a gift. So right off the bat, there's a beautiful image of this beautiful man with beautiful skin and great everything. So let me look around. I don't like to use famous people right off the bat, or at least not famous to me, because I don't want the art to be about the famous person. I want it to be about the art, right? Oh, there's some collage right there. That's cool. I never buy anything from these magazines, but it's a great idea to just look at it and then go to a thrift shop and find it. Oh, that's a cool face you can rip up. So most of the times, yeah, this is really full of great colors and stuff, but it's a particular magazine with a particular style. This is a beautiful image that could be something. Oh, look at that. Like, who wants to rip into that? That's beautiful. Oh, yeah, this is cool. When I was in college, I studied photography before I studied fine art at FIT, but I found it too rigid, and they wanted me to, practice Avon shoots opposed to editorial. And I was like, no, I want to have fun. So I left. Oh, that's a great face. The end of straight, the end of America, and the end of me. Okay. The thing about these is that they're already so saturated with color and so beautiful that, it's not much of a challenge to make a good image out of such great imagery to begin with, right? But let's see. Stop looking at me, you're making me nervous. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you can hear the music. I have some really nice music in the background. I don't know what it is, but it's nice. Okay. Well, let's use this guy. And definitely this. Who did these? Stylized by Collage Dream. Well, they did a great job. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at the hands. That's great. Kind of want a tattoo right there. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know what I would say. Okay, so we have two images here to start with. So I like to take it slow and kind of just meander, but let's go. Now this is a test, so you might not be able to see what I'm doing, and if I do this again, it'll be better quality, I promise. And I love collaging because it's just not precious, you know? Like when I paint or draw, like everything means something. And with collaging, while everything does mean something when it's done, while you're making it, you can be as messy as you want, or as haphazard, which is one of my favorite things to be, both in the studio and in life. Okay, I like that. Great. So now we have this great half face, which will be really fun. And of course, I mean, you have this, but you also have this, which look how fun it is if you do something like this, right? Already there's a great image there. But that's too easy. So let me head to Look from 1971. There's a nice looking gentleman from the 70s. And I mean, right off the bat, I mean, I'll put in your direction so you can check it out. Everything about this is just so exciting, right? Like black and white. McLean's whitened so well, it worried me. That sounds political. Anyway, everything about this is gorgeous. Let's play around with it. I mean, look at that, right? Gee. But too easy, right? Too easy. Let's do something different. Okay, I'm seeing something here. All right, here we go. We're gonna deface this magazine. So you have to be careful with old magazines because they're very brittle and they'll rip. So do it with love, a little bit of prayer, a little bit of spit even. Success. Okay, so put this to the side. And I think, you know how I saw that other magazine, the GQ, and I didn't find anything? Now that I've already started kind of like a sentence or a narrative, I'll go back to that and find things that now mean something, opposed to before where I'm just trying to look for something to start. Wow, look at that. Okay, like how exciting is that? Which one do you want? God. All right. Sometimes I think I was born in the wrong time, but then I wouldn't want to be Mexican in the 70s, right? Internment camps and all that fun stuff. No, thank you. Oh wow, look, it's a great photo essay on someone who's in a wheelchair trying to get through life in the 70s. Wow. I wonder where she is now. Look, she's at a museum. So you can do a lot with these. It's really easy to get campy with vintage magazines, which I appreciate, but it's not really me. Oh wow! Like, so this is a problem with these like vintage magazines, because look at that. Like, you see an arresting image and you just don't want to touch that, and at the same time you don't want to throw it away. But wow, that's gorgeous. So I mean, I think that's a big part of being an artist, right? At least for me, I'm often starstruck by beauty. Like, whoa. Except for this is just junk. But even this has something in it, right? I've seen where graphic designers take something like this, and then like for business or websites, and they'll put like the name of the CEOs and all the employees pertaining to a silly snack or a product. That's a good idea. Are defendants' rights being given away just so the courts won't collapse? 90% are induced to plead guilty. How about that? 1971. Wow, look at that. It's beautiful. Oh, Ireland of the spirits. Okay, now I'm coming into something. I mean, as a lot of you may already know, I'm very much into spirituality and mysticism. So anytime I can include that into my work, especially when it comes to earth or astrology or anything like that, like this is a really beautiful image that, again, is ready to be, you know, just put on a wall, but it needs to be something for me here. So let's see. So I think, cutting with the X-Acto knife is very much like drawing, because you're following the line, and just like when you draw, you learn how to see the world around you better. So as I'm cutting this, I'm kind of looking at this monumental earthwork, and it's telling me something. I don't know what it's telling me, but I'm listening. Actually, let's keep this over here. So the whole thing about collaging is it's fun to layer the collages and have things emerge. And they don't ever have to make sense. But when I'm making collages, and especially when I'm using people, I always like to find a narrative or give agency of beauty, of status to the images or to the people that I'm using, especially when it's people of color. I really enjoy elevating it beyond an ad, because this is great, but they're trying to sell something. So here I'm just trying to sell spirit and people, and not people, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I went to an estate sale this weekend with friends, and there was some awesome stuff. If I had the space, I'd love to collage with objects, and I guess that'd be more like assemblage or sculpture. But maybe I'll move to the desert and do that at some point in my life. But right now, I am delegated to paper, so let's see if I sell enough of these guys, and then I can buy a house in the desert. I'm also really excited. I just posted a picture of a calling card or a business card I made for my friend, the writer Jennifer O. Her name is Jennifer. Her pen name is Ileana O. If you go to my Instagram, @artengineer, you can check that out. I'm really happy with it, and I hope she is too. I think she is. It's quite beautiful. Oh, here we go. Something's happening here. Yeah. So adhesive is such an important thing when it comes to collage, and especially when you're using old paper. You don't want to use any wet medium because it'll wrinkle. I mean, you can, but you have to then flatten it with books and weights. What I normally do is I go to Target, my favorite store, and I buy these guys. So this is adhesive squares, and they're acid-free, and they won't ruin the paper. I mean, they're amazing. So you just take it out, take out the backing, and put it in place, and bam, you have stability. Isn't that nice? If only we had those for life. But yeah, so it's fantastic, and I really love these. I use them. I've been using them for a few years now, and they just don't buckle, hold everything in place. I really am a fan of them. 3M, I think I said M3. 3M, what can't they come up with, right? All right, maybe they'll come up with something for life stability instead of paper. But anyway, okay. So we're doing something here, right? It's always really easy just to throw flowers and bam, there you have it. It's just a beautiful collage because flowers are beautiful, and But let's see what else we can find that it's not flowers. Ah, look at that. So another tool that I use, it's my favorite, is these hole punchers that come in different shapes. I got them at Michael's, and I was hesitant to use them at the beginning because I'm like, oh, it's a little too crafty, but no, this is amazing. And also, everyone has one of these if you go to a thrift shop. You know what these are? CDs. So this is the perfect stencil to cut a perfect circle of this size. I use this for paper when they're smaller, and it's just a nice way to create uniformity in an image, right? Because all of the shapes are the same size. But if magazine paper is often weak, so I have to double it up. pull it in. Et voila. And look at that, isn't that beautiful? So now things start to happen. Oh, this is going a lot faster than I thought. We'll see, we're not there yet. Also, if you see the image already, it's really busy, which is fine, but I also like to add some moments of pause for the eye. So maybe I can put in some blocks of color that offer rest or a moment of contemplation, or that just isn't too chaotic for the image. All right, let's see. Move that guy. Look at that, isn't that fun? So, I mean, when you collage, you're referencing, you're stealing, in a good way, not in a bad way, right? You're kind of just adding to a conversation that's already there. You're using what already exists. For a very long time, I did not want to paint because I just didn't have the space for storage, and I felt like I was creating more trash for the world, for me, whatever. So collaging allowed me to create more using what already existed. It was kind of like upcycling or recycling. So don't feel bad when you take something, but change it, make it your own, you know, don't just take it. Let's see. I'll see, that's really neat. But what does it all mean? So, I mean, it's endless, you know, there's so many things you can say with just the same elements. Sometimes it'll start looking like a movie poster, or it looks like there's a narrative, which is fine, you know. Depends how you want to execute the image. This is really cool, though I don't know what it's telling me just yet. Oh, see, like that's amazing. I wasn't even, I mean, this is magic. Yeah, this might be it. See, this resonates with me because it's like a portal. It's a rainbow without any color. It's a mythical landscape that doesn't exist. I love that it comes off the page a little bit, and these guys make reference to this. So, wow, I think this is it. At only 18 minutes. Well, we'll see. So that's the thing when you make art, I think. You just kind of know, you know? I don't come to my desk or studio with a preconceived notion of what I want to do. I just show up and things happen. That's where the magic is. I mean, if you look at it, I brought 2 magazines and I only have 3 elements from one and 2 elements from the other. And I think this is just a really arresting image. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So I'll show it to you. I feel like a little kid. Look what I made. I mean, I'll take a picture of it and post it, but it's a landscape, and there's enough information there to show you, to intrigue you, right? What's happening here? What's happening back there? What? It's a big what, which is a really great place to start when you make art. What? So I think I'll put this to the side and see what else comes up. I'll have some scary tea. It's raspberry and pomegranate. Sounded like a good idea, but I don't know. Okay, so then I have these exciting other pieces, like, shit, look how nice this is. I mean, I see what just happened. You interlock them and see what appears. And again, it's mixing the old and the new. Ooh, here's red. I don't think red goes, but we'll see. No. C'est mauvais. C'est moche. All right, let's see. So for me, it's like I make a lot of collages because in my head they will become paintings. In my head they will be billboards. In my head they'll expand or they'll be something bigger than they are. That they can be really, which is fun, you know. Oh, that's neat. So can you see that? See what happens when I let's see if I can do this. No, you can't do that. Okay, that's fine. So there's some blue here. I'm just wondering if I should activate the image with some blue. Ooh. Kind of looks like a warrior. No. So this could be really boring to somebody, but to me it's just like I'm solving some kind of riddle or something, you know. There's people for everything, really. I feel like the work that we do in some way or the other keeps the world in balance, you know. And while it might not seem like a lot, this is my calling, and this is what keeps the world in balance on my end. Some people are mailmen, some people are therapists. I make collages. I'm an artist, which is the greatest thing to me because that's what I am. What do you do? Let me know. Do you feel the same? Okay, well, this is something. Oh, cool. Okay, so I mean, that's kind of a neat piece of texture or pattern from a sneaker. Let's see if I can do something with it. So, as most of you know, I have a podcast, studioconfessions.com, Studio Confessions, and this is kind of an offshoot of that. But I really want to keep my practice a big part of the podcast because, to me, the podcast is kind of my point of view as an artist and how that affects the way I see things. A big inspiration for that was Anthony Bourdain. With his show wasn't about cooking. He wasn't cooking, and it wasn't about food per se. It was about how the food tasted to him. And while I kind of do want to be cooking, I do want to be making art, I want it to be about what the world looks like through my eyes as an artist and through other artists' eyes, because we all see really different things, right? Even if we're looking at the same thing, we're all looking at totally different perspectives. So that's what it's about. If you've seen it, if you've heard it, thank you. If you haven't, check it out. Oh, cool. So something's happening here too. So again, this is way too much of this person's face. I don't know who he is. He's someone important enough to be on GQ, but I don't want people to know right off the bat that that's his face. So perhaps I'll cover it up a little bit somehow. This is a neat piece of information I can use here. Oh, that's cool. I also have a lot of music and playlists that you can listen to if you join my email list. I send people playlists because I have a passion for music. Very moody music at that, but music. All right, so something cool is happening here. I'll let you see this. So I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm sure someone will send me a message and let me know who this person is. And I mean, I can just read it off this magazine. Odell Beckman Jr. Sorry, Odell. Let's see what we can do with your beauty. That's neat. I'm also a big fan of like diamonds. You know, for a while everybody was using diamonds and reflective stuff. I still like it. Oh, here we go. See, I was looking at this earlier and I saw this jacket and I was like, oh, that's nothing. But now it's turned to something. Okay, let me see. I have a suitcase here. that I bought in Palm Springs for $3. And I have more tools in here. Square, that's what I need. So let's see. Oh, that's sharp. Oh, cool. Okay, so this does something. Now it's hard for you to see it in there, but within this pattern there's some lines, and when they intercross or when they lock, it creates some interesting visual compositions, conversations, what have you. Super cool. Okay. This is really doing something for me now. Let me go back to the vintage, see what else I can find in here. Mimi. God bless Mimi. All right, let's see. When you make art, do you listen to music? What do you listen to? I listen to a lot of really sad music. And this is really fun, actually. So I love using older people's faces, because I rarely find it in new magazines or contemporary magazines, because I mean, no one looks like this anymore, right? We all have Botox, we all have whatever, we know how to take care of our skin better. But I mean, the folds and the creases of this man's face is just beautiful, really. Oh, they're smoking a cigar. Ooh. I love cars from the 60s and 70s. Oh, I love cigarettes too. But I don't smoke. Oh, look, a butt. The average male does not shrink after washing, nor should his t-shirt. How about that? Is that fact? Fun, look at that. Yeah, there's just so much here, and I don't want to take the obvious, you know? Well, that's problematic. So usually what happens is I'll create a collage, and you know, it's frayed a little bit or whatever, but it doesn't matter, because I can then take a picture of this and then Photoshop it and clean it up a little bit. And then I have an image that I'm super happy with. Oh, you know what I can use? Well, let's experiment a little. I was going to take a whole bunch and make small things, but maybe, you know, I rarely draw on my collages as they are, because I'm afraid I have less control of this than I do of this, right? Because I can move this around. This, once I make a thing, then it's stuck there, and that's unsettling. So, I don't know. You've inspired me. We'll see how it comes out. Again, it's just paper. No one's gonna die. And if they do, it's fine. Oh, shoot. Didn't want to do that, but let's go. I remember I was an art educator at Museo del Barrio once, and I was working with this little kid, and he obviously did something that he didn't intend to do. And I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, don't worry, you can do it again. And he was like, no. Miss Marquez, another art educator, Norma Marquez, who's an amazing artist, the little kid told me, oh no, Miss Marquez told me there are no mistakes in art, only happy accidents. And I was like, what? So now that's my point of view. Thank you, kid, and Norma Marquez. Yeah, that's something, I like that. The problem with this, the reason I stay away from drawing on is because it'll buckle the paper, and that's not an issue, but to me it just makes me feel really uncomfortable. But these are China markers, and China markers are my favorite because, again, they don't They're not wet. They don't leave any wrinkles or streaks. And it really does transform this, huh? I didn't want to make a soldier, but I think this is what's happening now. Oh, you know, it'd be nice? A circle. I love circles. Oh, I can use my handy dandy CD. Anyway, well, thanks for sticking around with me to this point. I know it's a process, right? But I love it, honestly, I love it. And even when I'm not recording, I also talk to myself and hash things out. You know what happens a lot, and you're gonna think I'm absolutely crazy. I have conversations with not dead people, but people who aren't here, and I'll think about my teachers or family members and just hash it out. Oh, cool. So this is a thing, right? I already put a square, so it's already taped. I can pull it off slowly, but because this is old paper, it'll totally rip it. Or I can do it with love. Okay. Love kind of one. Okay. Actually, I like that more. And then maybe we can cut this up. Ooh, and I just saw something. So this was the intended image, but look at that. That's kind of neat, right? That's an interesting texture and letters. So while I was in upstate, I also went to this museum called Magazzino. When my friend told me he was going to take me to Magazzino, I said, Magazine World? But it wasn't. It was Magazzino. It's an Italian contemporary art space, and it's just impeccable. Like the architecture, the art. It's a little up there as far as concept and accessibility, as far as what the hell am I looking at, but it's really fun. It's beautiful, and it's worth the trip up there. I really felt like I was in Italy until we crossed the street and I went to like a barbecue stand where they had like country music, live country music, and that was also a trip. Not a boring moment. Oh, here we go. The other fun part of making art is coming up with names for your art, right? For a long time, everybody was saying Untitled 1, Untitled 217, which is fine, but it's a little repetitive and a cop-out. Sorry. Not sorry. So I'm not liking this all that much just because I'm not. But let's keep, where's my red? That's why it's so important to be slightly organized. I have no idea where anything is now. Oh, I did put it back. So what else can I do here? So, you know, it's always good to stop and kind of just look at what you're doing and see if it speaks to you. I think it's speaking to me. I think it needs one more element. One more element. And again, this is just from 2 magazines, and I like to limit it to 2 magazines just because it's discipline, you know, because if you have 100 magazines, you'll never find, or you'll think you'll find something better in another magazine. It's kind of like dating, right? Not that I've dated for a while, but I think a lot of times people think, oh, there's a better thing around the corner. Just like that with magazines, if you keep it to one, you're forced to look at what can work. So I'm gonna stray from that a little bit. I'm just gonna turn around and see what I have behind me. I have a lot of books and an Elle decor, all right, which I use for another project, but there should still be some fun stuff. I think I already took out everything that I wanted to buy, to experience, to copy in my house. When I was a kid, I saw this interview with Bjork, and they were asking her about her funny speech, and she was like, yeah, I just like to take different pronunciations for different words that tickle my tongue. So ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do the same. So when I heard certain accents, especially like from Canada, you know, about stuff like that, that tickles my tongue, so I say it that way. I don't care. I'm an artist. Yeah, so you get a lot of license for being an artist, by the way. This is nice. Oh no. All right, so I really love, this will happen to me a lot once in a while. So look at that, it's such cool tile of stars that you can use. But then on the other side is literally the way I want my outside patio to look like. And I've thought about my grandma just sitting there while I paint. So maybe I won't sacrifice it and put it on my wall. I don't know. But let me see what else they got. This is a great color. Again, an easy cop out anytime you're stuck is flowers, right? Anytime you put greenery or flowers or fillery, it's always like, oh, look how beautiful. But I don't want to do that right now. Not yet, anyway. Can you hear the music? I'm gonna have to check later. Je l'aime beaucoup. I mean, something as simple as this, like this is kind of awesome. It's just an O, but something about it, right? I mean, cutting it would be a bitch, but maybe you don't have to cut it out. You can just, voila. Oh, I'm kind of digging this. Yeah, that's something. I don't know. That works. And it covers up a little bit of the haphazard drawing that I made. Oh, I love that. Where are my squares? Okay, I'm a little happier walking away from this like this. I think there's still a lot of room for more things to happen, but I think once I clean it up in Photoshop, maybe add some more elements, that'll be really neat. So we're at 38 minutes and 38 seconds. I kind of want to stick around and do something with the bus that I cut out. Where'd he go? I just saw it a second ago. This guy, I think it's such a beautiful image, right? Like something's happening here. So stick around with me, see what we do. See what we do. Yeah, this is really beautiful, and again, I'm so careful about cutting something out because it's so precious. Oh my God, like look at that, like that's just like asking to be something, right? But that's a little too precious, in my opinion anyway. I should do something with the craft page. Oh, Mimi. That's beautiful, huh? You can see that? I don't know, I have to play with the camera angle to Maybe you can see it a little bit better. Wow, look at those colors, right? We just got rid of our car. Now I want a car. Oh, here we go. Yep, I think I found something. So one of my favorite magazines to cut up is Afar magazine. I don't have it here, but if you ever see it on the newsstand, I think it's $6, $7. It's beautiful photography, beautiful graphic design. It's about travel, so it's aspirational. It's called Afar, A-F-A-R, simple to spell, which is why I can spell it. But if you want something sumptuous to cut into, or just to look at even, check that out. I can't find my ruler. Do you see it? Allora, okay. Here's another one. Voila. And again, you're collaging, right? So there's no need to, it doesn't have to be a specific size, it doesn't have to be anything. I mean, a fun task is also just to cover some of the words and the products if you don't want them in there. And then that gives you a restraint. Again, restraints are always good, I think, just because it allows you to stay within a line and be creative that way. And there's always scraps. Oh, like I said, this was a fun one, but again, too easy. Très simple. Trop simple is what it is. Trop simple. So in my trusty suitcase, I also have scraps that I've collected. Like, this is always fun, right? My friend brought me this cola from Spain. Thanks, Daniel. But again, super precious. Don't want to cut into it just yet. Actually, he brought me a bunch of stuff. Look at this. Piff. Like, what the hell? Amazing. And there's an envelope in there with no money. It's okay. I also have pictures that I collect that I've taken. Oh, I have a nice drawing of an ostrich I made. How about that? Cool, pink. Pink will save the day. My CD. All right, come on, we're in the home stretch now. So a lot of people that I've spoken to are afraid of doing stuff like this, like putting themselves on camera, showing their process, because they're afraid of copycats, and I completely understand that. I've had a lot of copycats and stuff like that, but I mean, again, I'm referencing other art when I do this, right? But the truth of the matter is that everything has already been said, so you have to say it again because no one was listening the first time or something to that effect. Oh my God, look at that, that's fucking gorgeous. Okay. And see, this bothers me just a little bit, and I can clean that on Photoshop, but I want an image that's strong enough without Photoshop. So maybe what I'll do, I can ta-da! And that is a beautiful image. That would be a beautiful painting to paint. And let me solidify this by taping it. So one awesome piece of advice that I did get at FIT when I was in photo was we were supposed to do these portraits of people, black and white portraits with dramatic shadows. And I did one of my then boyfriend and when it was crit time, the teacher or the professor said, I can tell it's a beautiful emotional image, but there's not enough information in there for the uninitiated, meaning for someone that doesn't love this man. What does it mean, right? So when I think about that when I make art, because there needs to be enough information where, oh yeah, it reminds me of so-and-so, or I was trying to reference my vacation in Bali or whatever. I haven't been to Bali yet. But giving enough information where anyone can project their story on it. So I think this has enough information where it looks mystical, it looks like a prophet, I don't know. So that's a nice thing to think about. So I think there's enough information. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. So I'm gonna post this, edit this into the video somehow. I think I can do it, but we'll see. Otherwise, I don't know. I think this is good. So I love this. You know what? I think I'm happy with it. I'll take a picture of it. I'll put it on Instagram tomorrow, and you can let me know once I publish this and see what you think. Anyway, well, it's 46 minutes. I wanted to do this for an hour, but 46 minutes seems to be a good time to stop. So let me know what you're collaging. Let me know what you want to see. All right. See you on Instagram, YouTube, Instagram, Art Engineer, and studioconfessionals.com. Let me know what's up.